Yeah, we're gonna see how Yapsor perform. Both teams TP it out with their position 4 players. The strength of Axe last pick here is that he can solo kill both carries, which is very nice, like Blink Blade Mid. Both these carries do high, especially Jugger does very high damage with low HP. And Venge kind of depends on what you go. You can sometimes Venge goes like Threads and Dragonlance and they're super tanky, and it's kind of hard, but it's still a decent damage. So if Axe can find these heroes solo, he's very good at killing them alone. But there's good support as well, like Omni Knight and Tusk kind of wrecks, and also Venge can save the Jugger. So there's a lot of save potential for Secret, but if they're not in position, it's could potentially generally just snowballing and solo killing people everywhere.
30 seconds.
The Axe as a primary initiator is definitely one of the better ones if you're also going to have a Magnus on your team. Just you just call one guy, and then typically these low range heroes will try to group around that guy to save them, and then the Magnus and the Ursa will have all the opportunities and all the time in the world to really just wait for their moment to jump in. So for sure, NaVi, it does seem like they have all the answers they could possibly want in as far as a full team fight is concerned. Wants Nico gonna get into a fight, but it looks like it's gonna be a 3-1 split in favor of the Radiant here. So pretty nice win for the Secret side very early on, and MP actually, the Vengeful Spirit, usually going to be a safe lane farmer, is going to be going up towards top along with the Absol only. Puppey is dealing with Sneeko right now, but CM going into an offensive tri-lane is certainly something that is not without risk. But actually, it's going to be lane swap-ups all across the board. Axe and Ursa both have a good matchup versus Midwan. They'll throw Pycat in mid, and Midwan already, you could see, kind of getting his ass kicked by the bear.
Yeah, this has become almost meta, I think, like swapping lanes insanely, like really trying to figure out, especially because there's a lot of Bounty and Ricky. Like, especially Ricky, I think, is very popular. And then you kind of scout, and both teams are trying to mind game and adjust accordingly. And this is kind of what ends up happening a lot of times. And I really like how NaVi did it on the mid and bottom lane. However, top lane might be a very weird lane, and I'm not really sure how it's gonna turn out.
I would imagine this is going to be a fairly nice lane for the NaVi side. I mean, these two heroes, Rubik and Magnus, don't really team up all that often. And Magnus is only level 1 right now, but being in the safe lane as the Magnus means that skewering into tower is a lot more feasible, especially when you have the Rubik to set that up as well. So NaVi have that very, very deadly combo, and again, with these low range heroes from Secret up towards top lane, may struggle to actually answer that if Biver actually gets a good telekinesis grab on one of these heroes. So right now, of course, it's not going to happen. Level 1 Fade Bolt, level 1 Empower, like it's not really their plan. But the Magnus should be doing just fine, I would imagine, and it is up to MP to play this lane fairly carefully. But we also have this bottom lane where things are going to be, I would imagine, very, very quiet. But it's always kind of foolish to ignore an Axe who's going up against another melee hero. Can definitely get kills here.
General kind of going for runes, kind of sacking the lane in a way. I'm a bit surprised he's doing this. I'm pretty sure that was not worth it. He had the lane in a very good position and kind of gave Kesu a free wave, and he got a bounty in return. Like, that's not the greatest trade. And I think he could have pressured the lane very hard by creep skipping, because Kesu couldn't get a stout at that point, and you can't really tank towers forever. Even though you have a heal, you're gonna run out of mana, and General is gonna outfarm you and get that Vanguard in lane very early probably then. But now it's a bit harder for General, I think. Oh, the MP top lane. Oh, what a nice skewer. That's probably first blood.
Got him on top. Kind of left alone. The Tusk was off lane for a little bit. And that's the threat, right? Like, that's the risk that you run when you decide to put a Vengeful Spirit and a Tusk. Not exactly a really deadly duo up in that top lane. And it is going to be an immediate switch here for the Secret heroes. Omni Knight going to go up towards top. Venge going to go down towards bottom. It's slightly better for Secret, I would say, but still it's not something that they would feel incredibly comfortable with. They're getting into a fight with Dendi. That's probably not going to result into all that much. So NaVi, I would say, still have advantageous lanes, especially this mid lane, where Pycat is not just beating mid one, but he's dumpstering him. It's not even close.
Yeah, this is a pretty rough start for Secret. I feel like they got not only a lane, but they kind of tried to greed as well, and then NaVi managed to punish it even further. So pretty hard, and MP is gonna be on the bottom lane here against General and Sneko, and this could easily turn to kill. I think he might be dead. There's no supporting coming, no spins though until there.
MP will turn around for his combo. General caught in the shards, and Puppy's rotating in as well, but this is an Axe we're talking here. Mid one is also here. Everyone and their mom coming in. Saniko is not dusted, not sentry. Dust is on Yapzor the entire time. And they end up splitting their focus to try to get both and end up getting neither. Saniko is actually visible right now, hunting after that courier, but he's going to jack the bounty rune and be on his way. In the meantime, Keizu's dying up towards top lane. Got skewered in towards the tower. So NaVi get away with absolute murder.
That was brutal, actually. NaVi got playing them. I think Secret made like small mistakes, but it's kind of a result what's happening. That kind of Venge is like level 3 against the Axe level 5, so the one spin almost took like a third of her HP, and it becomes harder to react because of that. But a bit misfocused by Secret as well. I think they should have committed for one. They should have decided instantly who to kill. I think they thought they could kill both because it kind of looked like that at the start, but then they kind of split focus for 1 second, and then General managed to just run into fog, and the Dust was way too late.
Dust was just on the wrong person. Tusk was going for the Axe instead of going for the Bounty Hunter. I think if you switch the target focus of just the Tusk, mid one, going to get out of there from Sneeko and Pycat, but still, this is not a great time for the Jug. 8 CS only versus the 37 kills and 14 denies of Pycat. I mean, people always say like, oh, if you expect Juggernaut mid, you can go for an Ursa and it'll be a nice little matchup there, but you don't expect to see a matchup that's this one-sided in these games, and Secret kind of were asking for it. Like, they could have just as easily given the Juggernaut over towards MP, played a pretty standard game from there with, you know, any sort of generic mid lane hero, and avoided the situation altogether. But as you said, they're trying to greed out these lanes. So far, it's been working really, really poorly for them. Speaking of greed, Keizu's trying to grab a creep wave here. Luckily for him, Biver is a little bit too slow to get that grab.
I think Biver messed up a little bit there. He went for an auto attack where he should have just kept running, trying to lift. Not sure it would result in a kill. Puppy got caught by a taunt. This is how Spawn Town is coming in. He doesn't have mana for Shuriken, so it might be a bit of a shop actually.
Yeah. There's an ultimate here on General, and he may get a second chop here. Here comes the Tusk. In response, there is no Walrus Punch, though. General still alive for right now. Has enough mana, but won't get it out before the shards come out. Now the Dust is out. Onto Saniko. They'll kill him off and then spin onto Biver. Should be a 3 kill for NaVi. I think mid one has this one in the bag, right? No Shrine with the Wave of Terror. They got him. Just barely, and Secret. They get 3 kills. And they only lose a CM. That is a small price to pay, and it's only level 3 CM at that.
Yeah, that was very good. That was lanes are all salvaged now. Even mid one is actually in a decent position now. He was in a horrible position just 30 seconds ago, but now he's actually doing okay. And General kinda, I think Beaver maybe should have lifted Venge into General, and then General used Taunt, but I'm not sure if you can like coordinate that well, honestly, in that situation. I thought they thought they would do a bit more damage, and you I kind of want it as well as a spectator, and I see it's a bit easier for me to judge, but just a little bit there for miss, and Secret are in a pretty good position. They're still behind though. The lanes are not that good, especially MP. I think is gonna have a hard time making comebacks. He's kind of doing these rotations to make a comeback, and if they don't result in kills, it's gonna be really hard for him.
Really important for MP to get back in the game through getting kills. Same thing for mid one. Like, you have the level 3 spin, you have the Omni Slash, big damaging tools, and if they're not able to find openings, I mean, Juggernaut can somewhat just farm his way back into a game, just because he's just that type of hero. Vengeful Spirit can't really. We saw the other day MP on a Luna, who is definitely capable of power farming, but Vengeful Spirit is not the same. Dendi gonna throw an RP up towards top lane. Pycat has a double damage rune and Empower, and Omni Knight is going to be a splatter on the floor. Ursa, I mean, even though you said like mid one, yes, is recovering himself into the game. Secret are not doing anything assertive to stop this bear. He is out of control.
Yeah, Pycat playing really well. A lot of it's up to the nice laning decisions. I'm not sure who calls those lanes. Pycat is the captain, but not necessarily him who makes all the decisions, but whoever made them. really knew what they were doing this game, and I think maybe Soneko called them because he's kind of scouting them, you know, so he knows what's kind of happening a bit more clearer, even though everyone can see. Maybe he's the one thinking most about it, because he's the one that wants to rotate on the lanes, so he wants to set up the lane so he can rotate on them. But really nice for NaVi there in the early game, and 3 cores on top of network for NaVi, that's a good start.
Absolutely fantastic start when dealing with the Vengeful Spirit core and a Juggernaut in the mid lane. Again, Secret, we kind of expect to be the ones in the place that NaVi are right now, but NaVi still haven't even gotten off to their full pace of game. It is still level 4 only Bounty Hunter, and he is just waiting for that track. Once he has that, for sure there will be a Blink Dagger on Pycat, and then shit is really gonna hit the fan for Secret.
Yeah. We're gonna see. Okay, Kesu is going mech, so I'm gonna see like if we see like, because now there's Midas meta, so you always wanna like at 10 minutes you wanna see like who's going Midas and who's not. Generally, you go Midas on Omni Knight, but you don't always rush it. Some people like getting mech, some people like getting like the buckler and then the Midas and then the mech. There's a lot of variation there, and some people just go like medallion and then Midas or finish solo quest into Midas. So it's pretty interesting to see here, but there doesn't seem to be any Midases being queued up so far. Dendy's probably gonna be getting one, but
one on Dendy.
Probably after the blink, yeah.
Blink first, Midas depending how he feels afterwards. Soneko is wandering about, is gonna run into a CM. Gets frostbitten down, Yapzor's here with the dust, and Soneko is trapped right now. I don't really know if there's any way for Soneko to get himself out of here. Is there any other sort of Navi play happening in the meantime? It's like they were looking for it. It's not quite. Pycat being chased out by Midwan and MP. Gonna be cut off by Yapzor and Puppey. There is shards here. They catch him perfectly. A bear in a cage, but he's gonna turn around, try to go for Puppey. Magic Missile gonna slow him down. Midwan still has the Omni Slash. Final Fantasy VII all over Pycat. That'll be Yapzor grabbing a kill on the Ursa. A huge kill for Secret to take, and Pycat getting a little bit too overconfident. If you have a Blink Dagger, I would say, yeah, wander the jungle as the Ursa, but without that mobility, going in that deep is awfully risky.
Yeah, they wanted to be aggressive, and I understand why. It's a good decision, but generally it's not ready. He is 250 gold away from Blink right now, and he can't really go until he got it. You can't just take a chance and hope that you can get a good call. And then like if you die, you're gonna be so far behind. You wanna stay in a lane or stay in the jungle and get that, secure that item. And it seems like they're gonna force it again, so could be a bit risky for General going when he's so close to Blink.
Well, there is definitely enough damage here. The only issue is that MP smells something in the area. He's going to hide deep in the woods. Highcat's going to show himself, and General, I mean, I think he's close enough to his Blink Dagger that he feels like he has it pretty much locked up, and he can make some kind of aggressive plays, and the timings won't really affect him all that much. This camp should just be enough to get him towards that mark. And yeah, then for Navi, things are going to, again, explode out of control for his Team Secret, but until that actually happens, Team Secret actually doing a fairly good job. We have seen Yapzor make some pretty nice rotations. So far has landed every single set of shards. Midwan getting in there for some action as well, much needed given the current start of his Juggernaut game. Navi, Blink Dagger on Axe. He's gonna blink over MP. I don't think MP, he might figure it out just because he doesn't see Axe come out of there, but there's double Blink Dagger right now on Navi, so they're ready to make some plays.
Yeah, they probably gonna do a big smoke. I see Beaver has a smoke on him, so I'm expecting they all together mid and go for some aggressive smokes. They might wanna do, I mean, Pycat is also close to the blink, so they could wait, but I think that's probably a mistake. Pycat might just wanna, I feel like maybe this play would be like you smoke and Pycat heads to Roche and everyone else tries to go for kills. Or MP or Secret Attack.
General with the call onto the Juggernaut. The snowball here to give him a little bit of extra time. Puppey's gonna let it loose with the ultimate, and RP lands on absolutely everybody. And they're gonna start getting torn through by Pycat, but still not dead just yet. Now the ultimate stolen by Biver is gonna turn things around. Midwan gets an Omni Slash, and we'll make it an even 3 for 3. As an Omnight's gonna wander in and just be like, hey, what's up, guys? Something happened here. That was actually a really, really good response from Team Secret, that they were able to, sacrifice some heroes, yes, but kill off Pycat, kill off Dendy, kill off the Axe, absorb the show-off of the 2 Blink Daggers, and all of that was without their Omni Knight.
That was crazy, actually, from both teams. This that was pretty insane. Fast reaction from everyone. But what's surprising is that there's a huge RP. The Secrets still win the team fight, even though they're missing a hero. That's a bit of a bad sign for NaVi. And are they really gonna force it? I feel like that they are the team with longer cooldowns with the RP compared to Secret, who doesn't really have anything. I guess it's kind of even. Omnislash is pretty valuable as well, like in these early skirmishes.
Oh, Pycat guards the wall. That is not tight, and Pycat should still have a way out, but they're gonna ignore him for right now and go for Saniko instead. Purification was stolen by the Rubik. That will give him a couple of seconds of extra time, but definitely not enough. And no, now the swap back onto the Bear, lift up onto the Vengeful Spirit. This time Omni is here, and we can already see it's giving them so much extra juice. MP will tank the Ursa like a boss, and NaVi will throw away the Ursa yet again. Not a hero you can afford to lose this many times. Dendi spotted in the trees. MP is going to wave him just to mess with his Blink Dagger a little bit, but they can't make a play here. Onto Dendi. He has the Skewer out. 10-7 and Secret. Turns out when they actually have their full team, a lot stronger. I don't even know where KZU was in that first engagement, but we could already see like Purification at this stage of the game, 15 minutes in, you gotta respect it. It just does so much, especially now with the mechanism.
Yeah, that was. I think NaVi, especially Pycat, kind of needed to shield for his Blink, but now that he died, when he was dying, he was like, "I'm done. I'm getting a Midas." He started buying it before he died, and so he got a Midas now. We have a Midas Ursa now because he didn't want to have this. He wanted to have a Blink, but because he died 2 times in a row when he was like 100 gold away, I think, both times, 100 to 200. Kind of that's what happened here. They want to go in mid, but I feel like Secret are quite well prepared.
Oh, Blink Skewer onto the Vengeful Spirit. KZU not with enough mobility to get in there for the heals or the GA or anything. Be a fast pick on the Vengeful Spirit.
I think if he RP'd that would not have happened as easily. I think if he... Oh, top lane, there's a healing ward down though. Mid one is tanking a lot because of that.
Purification still stolen by Biver. Healing ward will get the Juggernaut into safety. TPs are still coming up towards top. Actually, a lot of heroes are converging up on the top lane. So Nico here, and they do actually see the Tusk come in because he's tracked up still, and they will also see Puppey on the incoming. This CM maybe a little bit too bold though, does cancel the Blink Dagger, so Active's Call kind of whipped. The ultimate from Puppey will do kind of just drive him away, I suppose. Shuriken bouncing through. KZU gets a heal onto Yapzor. RP is pump faked once, but it'll be completely whiffed by Dendi. Where's the damage here from Secret? They're looking at General first. This axe is a tough kill, yet they're going to try it through the call. The armor is going to hold for General for right now. MP does have a swap back. Nova is there. General going to try to stick up. KZU just getting in there with the degen aura. Will be a kill. In the meantime, top side, they went in pretty deep to kill off that bounty hunter, and mid one used the Omni Slash for that as well. Another great trade for Team Secret. Despite kind of a rough early laning stage, they are definitely rallying now.
Yeah, playing really well. They're so positioned so well, like not leaving anything for Dendi. So Dendi kind of messes up, but it was not that it was very hard. Like he couldn't get a 2-man RP. He wants to Midas so badly. Will he die? I mean, like, there you're like, I want to use Midas, but I will die if I use it. And if you're someone like Envy, you'll probably do it.
Pycat is gonna get the Midas out eventually. Luckily for him, MP, because of that kind of slower start on the Vengeful Spirit, not yet with that level 2 ultimate, definitely would have killed the Ursa if she had that. Just you know, wave him, swap him back in, done and dusted. It will be a nice push up towards top lane. Bottom lane tower will be destroyed as Dendi is going to start bulldozing that one down. But so we actually find the Rubik. He has swap stolen, but with the haste rune on MP, there's a very small chance of him getting to use that swap. He'll just be chased down by the Venge. Easy solo kill for MP. Easy tower destruction for mid-one. NaVi, despite having all of this Blink Dagger initiation, not going to phase Secret as they're going to go straight in for the tower. NaVi are coming in from the south, probably prepping up for some tracks first of all, but not even coming in with everyone. Dendi is going to teleport back to the base because he's just empty on health and mana. NaVi, I think, are going to lose this tower without any resistance whatsoever, although all the heroes are kind of getting into position. They're not in yet. The walk in, take a tower, walk out, and NaVi have no response.
Yeah, Secret playing really well. They're not letting, while they're pushing 5 people mid as well, they're not really allowing NaVi to split push because of they're pretty ready to counter as well. And I think they might have known that Dendi was kind of not in a position to fight. And you were just like, okay, we gotta be careful for the call, but other than that, we can kind of push aggressively, and that's what they did. And I wonder if NaVi's plan is just to try and go late game now, because it's kind of been like you don't necessarily think like, oh, we're gonna go late, but I think they're not gonna look as aggressive as they did earlier, you know, when they kind of lost a lot of heroes in very short time. So Neko, they see him, right? They saw him at least.
Yeah, they saw him wander in. They think he's here. Neko's just laughing his ass off. He's placing observer wards in the back, and he'll get out to safety. But yeah, it does seem like NaVi, they can't really afford to take Secret in a fight unless they get, you know, the nuts initiation off. And if they get, you know, Puppy killed off like right now as CM's kind of wandering the jungle, then yeah, they could definitely get themselves to a position where they could just let this Ursa do whatever he wants, since now he also has that blink dagger. But as long as Secret are in reach of one another, it's going to be so hard
from Roche, though. This is a good play. I think this is gonna work out. They used a scan earlier as well from the Secret, and now we're scanning now to make sure. This is a really good play. This is a great play actually. And they are smoking up Secret though, but he will get it before that. So if they bail fast enough, which I think they will, that's a lot of wasted time actually.
Blink out to the north, shards coming in a little bit too late. Secret still wants this Pycat Ursa dead. But he already got the experience, he already got the gold, so already quite a nice win. But now he's in a little bit of trouble. Blink dagger in 1 second. Not spotted. Mid one getting distracted by some neutrals.
He doesn't have a TP. No TP on Pycat.
Dust thrown out, doesn't land on the bounty hunter. He will get deep into the trees though.
No
and now we have a wild goose chase. Secret, are they going to give up? I don't think they actually saw the Ursa. Do they know he has no TP? I don't know, but over in mid-bottom lane, action's happening. Dendi gonna try to skewer away. There's a snowball on his tail. Shards, again, perfect from Yapzor. They'll punch up Dendi, they'll purify him, and that'll put him in the grave. 47 seconds on the sidelines. At least it buys Pycat free access out of there, but yeah, I think for NaVi, that's probably still the best they could hope for.
I don't think they're too dissatisfied with that from NaVi. They kind of... I mean, then they died, so it's like, Secret was somewhat happy, but this was almost a tower taken down, and NaVi definitely got the overall advantage there with getting the road. It also, not only does Ursa get a road, we can kind of play more aggressively, but it also denies Secret road, which is almost bigger, I'd say. So they're not as afraid of a big fireman push that's gonna happen, that Secret kind of wants to do, which they've been doing for the last maybe 5 to even 10 minutes. They've been playing very fireman heavy and reactively. So I don't think you're too sad about that. Magnus doesn't have like a Midas, and he's like dead with a Midas of cooldown and stuff like that, where you're kind of like, I don't like this that much. But they're just gonna group up now. They have a big advantage in the Aegis, and if they can manage to get a good initiation this time, I think they have a very good chance at taking an advantage.
They decided to... Oh,
He's standing on a war though, general. This is not the greatest place to be.
Oh, jump in. Pycat's gonna find Puppy. Purification is there, plus the mechanism. They keep him alive for right now, but Pycat is gonna say no to that. He's gonna pop his ultimate. They also catch Vengeful Spirit in the call. Chop her head off. Immediately 2 down, and Yapzor's not in a great spot either. Trying to run away, but the clap is there, and the skewer back. You're not going anywhere. He's gonna try to snowball just to bide time. And Yapzor is going to be hit by his own shards, stolen by Biver. And that'll be a quick 3 kill for NaVi, a real just slaughter. Secret have no response to. This is going to be a tower down, and that might just be it, because they don't really have that much tower pushing power. But finding, again, these heroes kind of wandering about in the jungle and picking them off one at a time, so easy for NaVi, and they get the track gold from that as well.
Yeah, they actually understood the state of the game so well there when... kind of like I talked about in the drop, Secret kind of needed a teamfight hero in their last play, but they didn't go a teamfight hero. They went this Venge. Oh, there's actually heroes close to each other. There's gonna be a dead Puppy.
Swap back onto General. They'll lose Puppy in the meantime. MP trying to go for this act, but the Purification actually misses. Still the Snowball is there, plus the Walrus Punch and Shards, which will capture Biver. Let MP go to work on that Rubik, but Ursa, he wants the Tusk. He'll take him down in exchange for that Rubik. MP Dendi, Pycat, Saneko versus Kezu Midwan MP. They're going to purify the Vengeful Spirit one more time. Deciding to pick a fight in the Shrine is kind of bold, especially when the buyback comes in from the Axe. He'll jump in, get the call onto the Vengeful Spirit. Repel is there, not going to help her all that much, especially when the RP comes in. That'll cost Kezu his life. MP not doing too hot either. Surrounded, is going to lose his head for the second time in as many minutes. NaVi, buyback on General, and that catches Secret off guard. Well worth it for the Axe.
Yeah, a bit of a hard decision for general. Like I want to buy back, and it's like you're gonna win the fight, but it's definitely worth it. Even though they don't kill as many as they would have wanted to, they definitely wanted mid one the most of anyone. But I feel like bench, when you get this far behind, it's so hard to make it work. You know, if you had like a stronger single core in like maybe Medusa or something along those lines. Maybe even TA could be a better pick here. But Jagger, he needs a lot of items before it comes to strong single core, and he's not really going that item build either. Because he's queuing up a Blink now. He's not getting a Bodify, he's not getting a Skade next, which is like the big make yourself as strong as possible. He's kind of going for pickup style, and Venge as a supportive carry does not suit that at all. So Secret are definitely struggling now in a place in the drop, and NaVi realizes that as well, which is why they've been doing so well lately. Especially how YOLO Pycat has been, and his team doesn't really follow up either. They're kind of like standing and watching, you know, both Dendi and General.
See NaVi also getting in on the split push, knowing that with these Blink Daggers, getting free pickoffs on Secret, again, separating them is extremely feasible. General is going to be jumped in on by YapzOr. Quick Walrus Punch and the shards to wall him off. He'll take barely any damage from any of that. He is going to get purged up. Omnislash will bounce through, plus the freezing field. Blade Mail will do very little here for the Axe, as the rest of his team kind of abandoned him. YapzOr looking for more. Shards out just for a little bit of a scout. We have much needed pickoff here for Secret. NaVi kind of get careless with their Axe. But, you know, losing the Axe is not really a terribly huge deal right now. It seems, as long as they're able to still get farm elsewhere, and they are. Like, this build from Dendi, the Magnus, is going for a plate mail item right now, but just with this Echo Saber, he is such a fast farmer and split pusher, and he will also be able to put out some significant damage onto, say, MP as the Venge. Get tracked up, and with Pycat coming in, MP gets purified from Keizu. RP is there, catching Keizu as well. Midwan's gonna do what he can, skewered back as well. They get the Guardian Angel off, and they will focus down Dendi, out of mana, and will be chased down with the Diffusal Blade for a kill. Clutch save there by Keizu, keeping Midwan alive, and they'll look for the last TP in here. I think that was the Rubik. Able to get out of there alive. Ultimately trading the Venge for 2. Still a pretty decent trade for Team Secret, but that Venge was tracked up.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good response for Secret, especially because he was there instantly. Like, I didn't even see him being close, and then like suddenly he's there with a Purification, Repel, and then he managed to get a good RP though to kind of counter that, but it was not enough. I'm not sure if this skewer away was good decision or bad. It's kind of hard to tell what would have happened if he kind of left him close to Pycat, but it's really hard to tell if Pycat would have killed him. But because if he didn't skewer him away and Pycat didn't kill him before the backup came, that would mean Pycat also died. So it was a pretty hard decision. I think that was like safer-ish. But Secret are kind of getting to a nice stage in this drop now. They kind of, as long as the opponent doesn't have an Aegis, I feel like they're in a pretty comfortable situation.
This is where their sustain comes into play with their siege power, though they do have to worry about getting jumped like this. Midwan already down to half HP. General's gonna get purged up, so we can't jump in just yet, although he will find it. They will get into a snowball, except for Puppey, left behind by his allies. Poor CM. They get the Walrus Punch onto the Axe, starting to drop him low, but not quite low enough. Skewer onto YapzOr. He's in the middle of the fight. Spin is being stolen by Biver, doing a lot of return damage. Midwan now in his own spin onto everyone, is being kept alive by Keizu. MP still at full HP, and NaVi are crumbling. So Nico gonna be chopped down last. And that'll be a 4-for-2 exchange as Midwan wants it 5. And with Biver still on the spin, Midwan still on his tail, getting kind of body blocked by his illusion, but he has a Blink Dagger. He has one more Diffusal Blade charge, and that should be just enough. Wave is there. They throw him away from Biver, but a blink in. Oh, a crit. Okay. Gets Midwan a triple kill, and NaVi get wiped. Midwan should be fine here, and yes, he will survive. MP will tank the tower. At least tank one of the towers. There's still a tier 1 here, by the way. That fight worked so well for Secret. Again, that snowball just buying valuable time for that call to dissipate.
Yeah, they didn't have RP, so when the snowball comes out to counter the call, there's no counter to the snowball because there's no RP. So it's a bit unfortunate for NaVi, and maybe they should not have been as aggressive. They play the same way they did now as when they have an Aegis, because Ursa goes in, YOLO's his close ultimate instantly. Try and burst, and this response, he forces responses from Secret, but the problem is that NaVi has to react, because otherwise they will kill Ursa, while before they didn't really care if Ursa died, because then they would counter, because Secret had to commit more.
This'll come in handy.
Dire's middle tower.
Are NaVi chasing? The sigil is so annoying though. I think the sigil was actually the biggest factor in that fight for Secret.
And I'm actually surprised that KheZu still has Guardian Angel. It feels like a fight win like that almost needs a Guardian Angel to land for Secret, but able to get it done without it. NaVi, it was an absolute mess. I mean, you're in a super tight cluster. And for Secret, it seems like that usually isn't going to really favor them, but spin from mid one, the amount of damage he's able to put out, the purifications, doing a lot of healing obviously, but you know, easily thousands of HP worth of damage because of how tightly clumped NaVi are. You'd expect them to be able to win those tightly clumped fights, but right now Dendy's gonna get jumped, has enough mana to secure out, but the Omni Slash is gonna follow him. Where are you at, Dendy? Mid one, gonna chop him down for a monster kill. And now NaVi losing the Magnus. I don't know if Secret can actually make anything happen off of this, but this game, it seems like despite all the turnarounds and all the team fights, it's still pretty much dead even.
Yeah, it's a very even game, like I hoped it would be. Like I said, I thought Secret had a slight advantage before we started, but NaVi kind of already at the start kind of showed that this game is extremely even, and both teams kind of have weaknesses in the draft, but they're both exploiting each other's weaknesses quite well, and it's just been a lot of back and forth, you know, depending on what the state is. If NaVi has a Aegis, or if they have like vision, and where is bounty scouting is very important. How fast Secret's reactions are, which have been very fast so far this game. Both MP and Kessler and Yapster as well with the Tusk snowball in the previous fight has been very fast to react, and then it becomes pretty hard for NaVi to fight because they kind of really need to force something more from Secret. But Secret are kind of playing it well, like they're swapping first, and then the snowball comes out. And then Kessler kind of waits a little bit if it's needed, but the other ones will stay first. So it's like they're playing very coordinated, and it's not overkilling in any way.
They're just very patient about what they do in response to these NaVi initiations. They're not jumping the gun Secret. They're not saying, okay, we're gonna start the fight this time and, you know, crush these heroes 5-on-5. They're saying, okay, NaVi are probably gonna jump on this guy, so let's have Omni Knight here, Tusk here, and then we'll protect MP when he gets jumped. And it seems like that plan now pretty well so far. This time though, Secret gonna take the initiative. Will be a full 5-on-5. They may not expect all these NaVi heroes here. Smoke will break MP. And a wave in will only clip onto Dendy. Still the swap is there onto Biver. And he will get caught by the shards. MP will work him down a little. Pycat's gonna come right in. The response is immediate as the purification is gonna land onto MP. Snowball's there, but he actually gets a little bit of distance away with the Force Staff. That'll mean he's isolated. Mid one lands on the high ground. He's gonna jump down with the Omni Slash. Luckily for him, he will still have some game in this fight. Almost gets clipped again. KheZu though with the Shiva's Guard onto General in the wall off with the shards. Gonna keep Pycat in place. So much ice on this Ursa, and he will fall. General isolated off to the side. Snowball back in from Yapzor. Purified shards. General, very, very tanky, and with the Blade Mail, trying to turn some damage to mid one, but the Healing Ward is going to trump that every single day. Now jumping forward, looking for Dendy. RP is going to land onto a couple heroes. Pycat's going to jump in, but the Sigil overhead means that Pycat's doing no damage at all. KheZu's going to purify himself. He'll be just fine. Snowball in, looking for Dendy as Pycat and mid one go one-on-one. General's going to interrupt that, making the 2v1, but still mid one not done yet. Looking for Pycat with the spin. He's going to try to get the kill and then disengage. And looks like he'll be doing just that, as they will isolate General and Saneko both. These two heroes don't have that much damage. Mid one blinks to dodge the call. Gets KheZu a double kill, and now they're off to the south looking for Saneko, trying to teleport out. Not gonna happen. Triple kill for KheZu, and NaVi lose so much there. That is an insane win for Secret. They kill off 7 heroes. They kill off 7 heroes, and they only lose the bench.
That was insane. I think did Secret just straight up win the game? There's a lot of buybacks, but the other two does not have buybacks. So I am pretty sure they're getting at least 2 lanes of rack here. And there's no RP either. Oh, this is so hard to defend.
Well, mid one has his eyes on the mid racks. He will take it down, and NaVi, they are gonna have to respect this swap from MP. At level 3 just yet, but still, if he sees you, you're most likely not gonna get out alive. Biver is gonna be spotted by the wave. Actually, that didn't hit him. Never mind, I guess. They will still go in for this tower, and with this aura full power here from the Vengeful Spirit, they'll bulldoze mid, they'll bulldoze bot. Still 20 seconds left for Ursa and Axe to be back. It does seem like that was, I mean, not necessarily like a straight up game-winning play, but that puts Secret into a position where it's almost unlosable.
NaVi cannot make a single mistake now if they want to win this game. That's basically what the situation is. And if Secret doesn't make mistakes, it doesn't matter either. So Secret are gonna do the right thing. They're gonna contest Roche. Actually, they're kind of knowing. Oh, mid-one is stuck. Secret knows what NaVi wants to do, which is stop the Roche that Secret kind of wants to get. So that's why mid-one ran up here, but he got stuck.
I don't think they know he's there, because why would he be there? Someone get him down, because Keizu, it looks like he's gonna start a fight here. They have a Force Staff on MP. Yeah, they should have a Blink Dagger on the Jug, so they will drive NaVi back. But man, I mean, these effects, these slow effects from Secret are working overtime. You have the Shiva's Guard, the Aura, and YapZor's Sigil is an absolute all-star, though YapZor. We're gonna see a couple heroes jump out of their MP. Slow on the retreat, will get tracked up for it, but still will survive. But once all these slow effects come into play, it seems like NaVi just aren't doing any damage. Ursa got caught without Fury Swipes there, and without Fury Swipes, you're not doing any damage. And now Tusk has another tool to help them defensively, the Walrus Kick. I've seen this only once in a game that I've casted, and oh, it's gonna not help MP, is it? They're gonna jump him into the snowball, jump into the back line for the Juggernaut, full Omni Slash onto General. We'll bounce over to Sneeko a little bit as mid-one is kind of separated from his allies, still looking for General, should get the kill. Freezing Field goes off onto the Magnus, gets the Skewer back onto Keizu. Where's the backup here? Mid-one is going to arrive really quickly onto Dendi. Grab a triple for the team, and Pycat is off, fighting up YapZor and MP. Not gonna win that exchange, and Secret just smashed NaVi in 2 consecutive fights, and just like that, the game is over.
And that was perfect targeting by Secret. I think every hero targeted the exact hero they should have targeted. Mid-one just blinked past and went on General instantly, and I mean they were not in a good position. And I want to mention this, that now we're kind of running a single core lineup with the Ursa, you know. It's kind of a weird single core as well. Like I talked about NaVi having also kind of some weird single core lineup, but the Venge is kind of supporting, but also still a carry. But when the levels came to Tusk and he got the Sigil, and then Omni-Knight got the Shivas as well, that like Ursa was not a hero anymore. He had 6 attacks together. He had to kill everyone in 6 attacks. That's what he had. And if he didn't, there was no way he could do anything anymore.